Hello everyone, welcome to Linear Integrated Circuits and Design LT Spice session number 2. Today's topic is inverting amplifier design using OP-Amp OP07 in LT Spice. The second will be observing the saturation levels. The third is will be parametric sweep of external resistors, and the fourth will be observing the effect of high signal frequency. So let us start with the design. The design statement is design of inverting amplifier for a gain of 10. So we all know that this is the inverting amplifier configuration using op-amp. So we have two external resistors R1 and R2 and input applied to the inverting terminal, and the non-inverting terminal is grounded. So the gain of this inverting amplifier is given by AF is equal to minus R2 upon R1. The required gain is also minus 10. So we can equate 10 is equal to R2 upon R1. So that means 10 times R1 is equal to R2. If we assume the value of R1 as 1K, then the value of R2 will be 10 times 1. That will be around 10 kilo ohms. So now let us quickly build up the circuit in LT-Spice and observe whether we have designed an inverting amplifier for that gain of 10. So this is my LT-Spice window. So my LT-Spice window, and I will select from here from the component OP07, place it over here onto the screen. Then I have two resistors, one connected over here and another over here. Okay, and I have to connect the non-inverting terminal will go to ground. And let me connect the connections now. So R2 will be connected at the output like this. I have my input applied to the inverting terminal of the op-amp this time. So here my input will be a voltage source. So again go to components, select voltage, and that is the voltage source basically. Now let me connect it to ground. Yeah. So circuit is complete. Only one thing is missing, that is the supply power terminal, the DC supply basically. So for DC supply, get two voltages. So this is my first voltage source and that's my second voltage source. And now I have to connect them. This is my common ground. And now I have to label them also. So this will be labeled as VCC. Similarly, this will be labeled as VEE. So basically we require positive as well as negative power supply to power up the op-amp. That is the requirement. Now we have to define the voltages of the DC power supply. So this will be 15 volts. This also will be 15. B will be taken as negative voltage only. And we have to apply that power to the op-amp. So I will make some wire connections here and then we can label it easily as VCC and this will be VE. So our circuit is complete now. We have to define the value of R1 and R2. So basically R1 is coming out to be 1 kilo ohm over here and R2 is coming out to be 10. So that's what we have to do over here also. So R1 will be 1K, R2 will be 10K, and input will be a sinusoidal signal of amplitude 0.5 volts. So right click on the source, go to advanced, go to sine, offset voltage is 0, amplitude is 0.5 volts peak, and the frequency we can give it as 1 kilo hertz. So our circuit is ready. As you can see, this is the same circuit which we have built and studied over here. So one more thing, I have to label the inputs and output. So this is my input node, this is my output. Okay, so I am ready now to simulate the circuit. So I'll click on simulate, run. It will ask me for a transient response. Transient response means output and input both will be with respect to time. So here the frequency is around 1 kilohertz. So the time period will be 1 upon 1 kilohertz. That will be 1 milliseconds. Let me give 3 milliseconds. Okay, so the moment I gave 3 milliseconds, the window has come, and now I can observe the input and output waveforms. So this is my input, 1 volt peak to peak, and oh, just wait a sec. Oh, by mistake, we have not changed this to VEE. Okay, now the output will be proper. So this is my input, and that's my output waveform. So one good thing is immediately we can see is input and output are out of phase. So let us check the amplitude. Input peak to peak is 1 volt, and the output peak to peak, as you can see, is almost 10. It's exactly 10 volts. If I place a point cursor over here and bring it at the top, it's 4.9965, so close to 5. So this is the same thing. So we have design an inverting amplifier which is giving me a gain of exactly 10, and you can see how accurate the answer is. So just by connecting two resistors R1 and R2 and an op amp, we have designed an amplifier with a gain of -10. Okay, so this completes the phase one of this LT Spice simulation. Let us go on to the phase two. So for phase two, we are going to observe the output saturation levels. So the requirement is you set V in as 2 volts peak this time. So let us do that. So let us set this input peak instead of 0.5, we set it as around 2 volts. So what might happen? Here, my input peak to peak will be 4 volts peak to peak, and the gain will be 10. So the output peak to peak has to be 40, but the power supply is peak to peak is around 30. So let us see. Okay, so when we did that, there is a clipping at the output levels, both in the positive and the negative half. So is this matching with what we have predicted? Yes, definitely. So we will observe the output getting clipped. So the positive level clipped is called as plus VSAT, that is the positive saturation level, and the negative level clipped is called as minus VSAT, that is called as negative saturation level. So let us observe the levels over here. So basically what it means is you cannot get an output AC amplitude greater than the peak value of the power supply voltage. So power supply, if it is plus or minus 15, you cannot get ever an output greater than the power supply ratings. Okay, so let us check the peak value over here. So let me bring my cursor. So it's around 14.01, and the negative peak is around minus 14.01. So the maximum output which this op amp can give is this. So these two are my positive. This is the positive saturation level, and this is my negative saturation level. So the op amp enters into saturation region in this case. So that's what phase two is about. We observe the waveform getting clipped at the saturation level. So what are the learnings? So the output voltage is limited to plus or minus VSAT if we give a very high value of the input peak to peak. So the VSAT is around 1.45 volts less than the supply voltage. So around 1.5. In our case, we are getting around 1 volt less than the supply voltage, which is around 15 and minus 15. So that is all about phase number two. Now let us go to phase number three, which is parametric sweep. So for this parametric sweep, we are going to vary either external resistors R1 or R2. So for this, we need to set, V in as 0.5 volts peak sine wave, and the frequency will be 1 kilohertz. And we need to vary R1 or R2. We can consider anything. We can consider even R2 or R1. So we can vary R1 from 1 to 10 kilo ohms with a step size of 2 kilo ohms. So we will start now. So this is my R1. So what we will do is we have to do the parametric sweep. So I will connect it as like this. Let me rename it as RA. So what I am doing is parametric sweep. Let me write the heading. This is inverting amplifier using op-amp OP07, and the gain which we have designed is -10. So let me write the heading over here. Earlier I should have written, but we can write it now. And whatever we are doing right now is parametric sweep. And let me also write that. So what we have done is, instead of getting fixed values of R1 and R2, we can now change the value of R1 and R2. Basically, we are now changing the value of R1 only. So also we have to add one more statement. So go to spice directive, write a statement dot step param. What is the parameter we want to change? RA. So start value is around 1K. Let us check once. 1K to 10K in the steps of 2K. So 1K to 10K in the steps of 2K. Okay, so we have added this now, and we have to make this around 0.5 again, 0.5 peak again. Because is that the requirement given? Yes, it is 0.5 peak sine wave. So let us see that what is going to happen at the output. Okay, so that's what we are getting over here. So we are getting various outputs for single input. We are applied a single input and we are expected to get only one output. But since we have varied various parameters, as shown here, we have varied the value of R1. So R1 keeps on changing. So R2 will be fixed. So the formula will be R2 upon R1. So R1 keeps on changing. You will get different values of gain, output gain. So here it is. So you can clearly see that it is most evident over here. So what's the advantage of such parameter sweep? We'll open up this. So we'll observe the output waveform for the parametric sweep. So this is the output waveform for that parametric sweep. So what do we learn over here? So the parametric sweep is helpful in studying the system's response to various combinations of same parameters simultaneously. So here we have varied the value of RA, different values of R1 simultaneously, and we are observing it simultaneously on the on the output waveform, as you can see. So this is my system. My system is giving me an amplification of -10, and I can do a parametric sweep which will help me study the system a little better. So as you can see, the system is very stable. It's giving 180-degree phase shift for all unique combinations of various. So it's giving what it is giving is the output with different gains. So that is very obvious, because we have changed the value of R1, the gain will keep on changing. So that is about learning number, the phase 3. Now let us go to the phase 4, which is the effect of high frequency response. So here we have to set V in is equal to 0.5 volts peak sine wave. Only frequency you have to increase now to 25 kilohertz. So let us do that now. So let us go back over here, and we don't require parametric sweep now. So we can easily delete this. We can add this resistor over here as R1 only, and get back the original value to 1K. Only thing is, your changes, the frequency now is increased to 25 kilohertz. Now let us observe what will happen at the output. So, but only one care you have to take. Since we have increased the frequency, our time period will reduce. So the time period will be close to, let me just 1 divided by 25 kilo. So it is around, time period will be around 0.04. We can give somewhere close to 0.12, 3 times that. And now we are ready to simulate the circuit. Let us observe what we will get. Oh, So we are getting, let me give it as around 0.3 milliseconds and observe it again. That will give a clear picture. Okay, so this circuit is supposed to give me a gain of around 10. It is not doing that, first of all. Secondly, the waveform shape is also different. So you have to ignore the first three cycles basically, and you have to start from here. So what is that value over here? Let me check. 107.36 microseconds. So let me write this over here. Start from 106.36 microseconds. Yeah, so now it is proper. But here for this input, the output is not at all proper. We are getting in fact a triangular wave. We are expected to get a sine wave, and whose value positive hits at 5 volts and negative also hits at -5. So first of all, we are getting the reduced amplitude, and secondly, we are also not getting the sinusoidal output. So let us understand why. So this is what the waveforms will look like. So this is the red part is the expected part, which we are supposed to get, but we are not getting. This V out is that is what we are getting actually, and your green color is my input. So what is happening exactly is, now let us try to understand this a little more over here. So it is as per our prediction, but it is not as per the requirement. So what we did was just increase the frequency from 1K to 25K, and the output got this reduced in amplitude as well as change in wave shape. So for a sine wave, it's giving a triangular wave. So let us try to understand this. So what happens is, let us read out the observations first and then we'll explain. If the signal frequency is too high, a practical op-amp cannot keep up with the input due to its slew rate limitation. The slew rate of an op-amp is the maximum rate at which the op-amp output can rise or fall. So basically, in other words, it's also also the speed of the op-amp. It tells you how fast the op-amp is. For this IC741, the slew rate is around 0.5 volts per microsecond. So let us understand this now. So what it means is, if the signal frequency is increasing, so earlier it was 1 kilo, 9, and now it is 25 times faster, right? So what has happened is, as soon as the input is changing, the output couldn't react to the input change as fast as it was doing before. So here it is the expected waveform, now it's lagging out. It's very slow. So the output cannot catch up to the input change. The input is changing very fast, and the output is not able to react fast enough. So that is what the slew rate means. That's why as soon as it hits this, it's very late to react, and automatically the state has changed. So obviously you will get this angular like waveforms, which we have got in our LT Spice window also. So that is what is mean by it basically the frequency. If we go on, we cannot go on blindly increasing the frequency. It will have a upper limit for every op amp. So that means this high frequency signal will limit the speed of my op amp functioning. So it's not functioning as an amplifier right now, not at all. This is not an amplifier. Neither it is giving the amplification, and nor it is giving the desired wave shape. So that's the effect of high signal frequency. And this was about the fourth phase. So we have completed the 4 phases today for inverting amplifier. So this completes today's session. Next time we'll build up another circuit using op-amp in LT Spice. So until then, have a good day. Thank you.